Hi, what's up, everyone? Welcome to You Go on the Journey. Thank you so much for. There you go. I have to adjust. Thank you so much. Okay, all right. Today is I do have a guest. His name is not her. His sorry. Posh Notions Instagram name. Her name is Bonnie. Bonnie. He is not. Sorry, Bonnie. I'm just like I'm just making it. She is anxiety coach, and she is part of Movement Makers, and she has a programs coming up. Her new coaching program coming up, and I thought maybe I really want to hear it. I really want to share it, and I am interested in talking with Bonnie. That's why I asked her, "Do you want to join my live?" She says, "Okay." So let's bring her in. Hey, Rosie. And I will bring you in. There you go. You ready, Bonnie?
This is the first time I do live with Bonnie, I'm excited. Hello, Bonnie.
Hello, hello, how are
Hi.
you?
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. You go on the journey. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for
Yeah,
having me.
you're welcome. You're welcome. So your t-shirt, is that your t-shirt? It's like your brand t-shirt. You have some brand too, right? You have your own brand t-shirt.
I do. So previous to getting into coaching officially, I was building Posh Notions, which is
Yep.
my branded apparel company. And this is actually a piece from the original Unbreakable campaign that has now been rebranded as Unbreakable Stories with Terry
Yes.
Thompson.
Yep.
So yeah, this is one of the original pieces. I don't know if you can see
You
it.
maybe you gotta stand up a little bit, just show a bit. I love the
Thank
color though. Ah,
you.
that's so nice.
So this is
Oh,
rhinestone.
yeah.
I work with mostly vinyl, but I do some rhinestone work as well.
I like it. I like shiny stuff, right?
Me too. Me too.
Yes, yes, of course. So this is like I have you coach you I always said coaching program is coming up,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's called like 21 days to calm anxiety coaching programs. And then I want to hear from you about, your coaching program too. Like why you name it like that? 21 days. Why is 21 days? And what's the
Um,
purpose?
so honestly, when I got started writing, I had no specific time frame in mind.
Hmm.
I sat down with a notebook, and honestly, it was just pouring through me onto the pages for about a week and a half. I just did nothing but write. And I mean nothing. Like besides taking care of my family and myself, that's all I was doing was writing. And um, originally, once I got most of the writing done, I was like, I'm going to do a 6-week program. And then when I got into um, really dissecting the different phases that I had written about
Hmm.
in getting over anxiety and managing anxiety, controlling anxiety, I realized that it was a lot to try to teach someone in 6 weeks and actually have it stick. And the last thing I wanted to do was overwhelm someone and give them more anxiety. So what I
Hmm.
did was I took what I had and I broke it down, and I took the very first couple of original modules and decided to do a 21-day fairly intensive program just covering learning how to identify and manage our anxiety triggers, because that's really the first step or set of steps in getting a hold of anxiety. And so what I'm going to do is with the rest of the material that I wrote, I'm going to build additional programs and then eventually put it all into probably a 12-month
12 months.
comprehensive package for anyone who wants to commit to the one, make that 1 year commitment. They can do that all, at one time. But what was really interesting is when I took this, what I thought was kind of a small chunk,
Mm-hmm.
it ended up expanding. And it was supposed to be a mini course, like,
Yes.
5 days or something. And it was like, there's just, like I said, there was just so much information there that I wanted to really make sure that people um, were able to put into practice what I was teaching and have enough time for it to build and set in, so that if this was the only program they ever did with me, they got enough value to get a good hold on their anxiety, and then they walk away with tips and techniques to manage it day to day, and hopefully change the thought processes going forward so that they could feel more calm. I know anxiety has exponentially increased, especially with the pandemic,
Yeah.
and more people, including children, are experiencing anxiety. And for some of us, like it was for me, it was to the point for me where it was interfering with my daily life. Like I had chronic debilitating anxiety that really prevented me from living a full life. So if I can pass what I've learned on to other people and shorten the time frame that it takes for them to realize they can heal, and
Mm-hmm.
how to do that, that's that's my calling. That's what I'm here to do, is to help other people from everything I've learned. So
Yeah, that's wonderful, because I do believe your life purpose come from your pain too, right? So if your pain, you turn into your pain to life purpose. That's why probably I'm just thinking, when you start writing, when you start into planning this course, it's just like pouring into it, just something coming, right? Through your experience, and you want to help out the people. You said,
uh,
yeah. So I was reading it, like your the coaching program things, and you said like 35 years anxiety, and then you got like 20 years in talking with therapist, but all changes my age and names. It's just, when I read that, it's just like how frustrated you were in the situation.
I was, and I think the biggest thing for me is that it was kind of hammered in my head in the beginning, seeing doctors and therapists and the
Yeah.
heavy medication I was on. And I'm happy to share my story if anybody's interested, but there is quite a bit of my story condensed up on the page, because I
Mm-hmm.
think it's important for people to know that this isn't textbook material I'm teaching. This is what I've learned through 35 years plus of anxiety myself, 20 plus years of being on medication and not
Mm-hmm.
under proper treatment. And I had it hammered in my head that this was my life. Like, my diagnosis was forever. This was not something you got better from. It was just something you learned to manage. And so that really kind of became part of my identity, was the anxiety, the depression, the bipolar, the OCD. I mean, I had pages of diagnoses over the past 20 years. And every time with a new diagnosis came a new bunch of medications. And finally, I got to the point one day I got really frustrated with my doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And I had been coming in talking about the same things. And uh, he said, well, it could be this one medication you've been taking. And I was like, well, I've been taking that for 15 years. I'm done. I was like, I'm out of here. I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I had no idea what I was going to do, but I knew I didn't want to do that anymore. And it was
So
like,
that moment, you just like done?
I just took my power back. And I don't think I even realized the gravity of the situation, like how important that was, until much later, because I got home and I was like, now what? I was on a dozen medications at that point, all at one time. And I was like, I need to now figure my way out of this mess. Like, how do I do this without a doctor? Do people do this without a doctor? Do they do this without a therapist? And then, but what was really fascinating was, once I said I quit doing this and I quit putting that resistance kind of out there, all of these opportunities and people and synchronicities and learnings and techniques kind of just started coming to me one by one. And I think in that moment, not only did I say I quit doing this, but I opened myself up to alternate methods of healing. Like when I
Wow.
said that, you know, I'm done, and I am not demonizing medication. I am not advising anybody to stop taking their medication. I am not a doctor. But the problem that we face, especially here in America, is pills are thrown at us without any kind of strategy to deal with the actual problem,
Yes.
or even the knowledge that we can remove the original problem, you know, and work with that. And I think that's what's most important, is knowing that you, and I see it on social media so much, it's so frustrating for me that people, you can't change your thoughts and you can't change this, and you're not responsible for your thought. It's like the only way you're going to actually have healing is to take accountability for what's going on in your life. And I'm not saying that you're necessarily responsible for like the traumas that happen to you, but you are only one that can be responsible for healing yourself from that. Like, you have to do the work. Even if you've got somebody like me teaching you the steps, you still got to put in the work and do the
Yes.
hard stuff to get, you know, to go through the
Yep.
healing process.
I agree, 100%. I agree. You give them a tool, like you mentioned it a couple times, toolbox, right? You
Right.
give them a tool, and then the people got a tool. They gotta actually start using tools.
Well, yeah, because it's like if you're trying to build a house and you've got a hammer and some nails
Yeah.
and you're just looking at them,
Yeah.
nothing's gonna happen.
Nothing gonna happen.
You
The
can't.
house is not gonna be built just holding
Exactly.
tools, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Wow. I love the word. I mean, I love when you said, when the day I got the power back, I get the power back. It's a simple words and a simple decision, right? And then that was probably the simple moment. It's a long, long, long time. Your anxiety, the problem. But the moment you just like made the decisions to get your power back, your own life, at that moment, it's just like, and then after that, you said synchronicity start coming, like it just start changing.
yeah,
That's
absolutely. And I
amazing, but
think
I really believe that you are responsible for your own life. There you go. Terry's here.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I think sometimes you have to get to that breaking point in
Yep,
order to make that decision. Because
yep.
for me, I was kind of just going along with things because I really felt like that was the best it was going to get, and that's where I was, and you know, this was my life. And had it not been for, and it was such a simple statement, like I could have just said, okay, well then I'll just stop taking
Mm-hmm,
that one or something.
mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
I just finally got to the point where the frustration had built up so much that I was like, this is not how I want my life to be
Yeah.
anymore. I didn't know what I wanted it to look like. In fact, I
Mm-hmm.
spent several years trying to figure out who I was and what I wanted to do because I had been medicated for so long. I didn't even really understand my own identity because my mind had been, for lack of better words, manipulated by chemicals for so long,
I
from
would
early,
imagine.
you know, teenage years
Yeah,
all the way through middle adulthood.
yeah.
I was like, do I like these things? Do I not like these things? Is it me that liked them, or was it because I was, you know? And so, um, sometimes people get stuck because they're afraid to make that change, and sometimes
Mm-hmm.
the universe kind of intervenes with something, and that they know is going to make us angry. And I know a lot of us avoid anger. Sometimes that anger is really useful in helping you
Mm-hmm.
make that change, as long
Yep.
as you're not staying in that angry state. It
Yes.
was just enough for me to not trust him anymore and say, your way is not working. I've got to do something else. So
So that angry just give you a good start, push you in the right, like, just give you a really good push.
yeah, because I very well could have been angry at him for a really long time, right? I could have been
Mm-hmm.
like, you ruined my life. But in that, like I said, in taking my power back, it was like, okay, it doesn't matter now what happened the last 20 years. We're starting right here and we're moving forward. What does that look like?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
figuring out those steps one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do I build a new life? Like, what do I want my life to look like? You know, what kind of challenges am I going to face? What kind of opportunities are going to come my way? And it really, for me, like I said, it wasn't a conscious thought process in the beginning. It was just, I don't want to do this. And then kind of figuring it out with the guidance, like I said, of the universe. And I just saw my friend pop on here. She was one of those people that were put in my path in the beginning, where it was like we had a lot in common, and she helped me remember a lot of the things that I used to be interested in, and that I really the tools and guidance that I used to use years and years and years ago, before they were kind of they were ridiculed and taught out of me, and said that you know, that kind of stuff doesn't work, and why would you do that? And out of that fear of judgment, I stopped using them, because I felt like the oddball or the weirdo. And when you're a teenager, or early, you know, an early young adult, sometimes that peer pressure is stronger than your desire to hold on to whatever it is that you think might be good for you. And I unfortunately kind of fell into that trap. Hi, I'm in a meeting. No, go ahead. If you want to sit right there, go get your phone. You can play a game. My little one.
Your assistant?
Yeah.
Your partner? I don't know.
One of them, yeah, one of four.
I know. Wow. But you were, during your dealing with anxiety, you were raising kids too, right? You were doing all the housework, you're raising kids.
I was working.
You know what? I don't know. You could have a choice. Just give up everything, though. Right? But
that
you
was
didn't.
That was something I contemplated many times. I definitely struggled with depression. Depression was one of the first things that I struggled with as a child. And I definitely contemplated, you know, giving up altogether many times. And it was because of them that I didn't. I actually just got, I don't know if you're familiar with the semicolon tattoo, but I just got that over the summer because it's just a symbol of that your story's not over, and to keep going, kind of like how it's used in a sentence. It's a pause. Okay, you need to find Daddy, or just sit here quietly. I'll look if it's on the. Okay, good idea.
That's okay.
So it I definitely struggled with those thoughts a lot.
Yes.
A lot. Yeah. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was so bad, in fact, that at one point in 2008 or 9, that I was scheduled for a procedure called electroshock therapy. And I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's a permanent. They literally use electrical shock to delete memories from your brain, so hopefully stop the nightmares and the change the pathways of the way things are working in your brain. And if anyone's interested, you can look it up. I'm not going to get into all the gory details of it, but the problem is it's permanent, and there's no way for them to pick and choose what memories they're getting rid of. So you very well can wake up and not remember who you are. You don't remember your family. You have amnesia. Like, there's all of these different permanent side effects that some people can overcome and regain some of that over time. But the fact that I was even approved for something like that just is a testament to how bad things really got for me for a while. And unfortunately, considering I was able to get off the medication and I'm thriving now, I think a lot of that was medically induced. I was on a lot of medication, a lot of the probably wrong medication. Okay, you're just gonna have to sit here or go play in your room then. You have to sit over here because you're under. You just have the camera. It for me, like I said, it got pretty bad, but going into it, and I know sometimes we're diagnosed with something and later on they'll diagnose you with something else, but the fact that I had so many pages of diagnoses of things that there was never an inkling of before the fact, it's just, it doesn't make sense to me. And I wish I had been more informed. The internet was kind of a baby when I got involved with psychotherapy and medication and whatnot. And I also had just this blind trust in my doctors that they knew what was best. And what
Yeah.
did I know? Because I'm not a doctor. I wasn't a
Mm-hmm.
therapist or anything at that point. So I really encourage people, even with my program, to do your research. Find what
That's
sounds
true.
best to you.
Yep.
And I even tell people, if they come to me and they've got some things that I am not yet equipped to deal with, I'm going to refer them to someone who can help them better than
Yes.
I can.
Yes.
Especially when you're dealing with, traumatic events and healing from those kinds of things. Miss Lauren says hi. And so, yeah, because again, for me, this isn't about, making a career or making money or anything like that. Like, I'm not here to harm people. My mission is to help people heal. So if I'm
Yes.
not the right person for them to do that, then I'm going to refer them to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And then when
Mm-hmm.
they're ready, they're always welcome to come back to me to kind of start wherever we left off and go forward.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard something interesting the other day, and it really resonated with me, is that
Yeah.
therapists basically bring you from the past to the present. And then a
Okay.
coach's job is to take you from the present into the future and move forward.
Okay.
And I thought that was a really great way to look at it and to simply explain the different roles of the two professions.
Mm-hmm.
As
Mm-hmm.
that therapists are more trained to kind of get you out of the past and
Yes.
into the present, heal what's gone on, which is why I don't practice really digging stuff up with people. I don't go into if they know what it is that caused their anxiety, then I'm open to talking about that and helping them
Mm-hmm.
work through that. But I'm not going to force somebody to go dig up their past and things that maybe
Mm-hmm.
they've healed, maybe they haven't healed, because I'm not the person to do that. That's something
Yeah.
you do
Yep.
with
I understand.
it's
But you know
different.
what?
It's a whole different training.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. But you know what? A lot of people, they are looking for, like, I understand, like, looking for the doctors, looking for the medicine, but they had enough. They had enough. Like, just like nothing gets better. So there are some people like, how can I get my power back? I'm sure,
Absolutely.
yeah, some people in this world, they feel the way exactly you felt, right?
Right. And
Because,
there's
yeah.
also, it's in tandem. Like, again, I take medication for other things. I have
Mm-hmm.
rheumatoid arthritis, so I take medication for that to help manage my symptoms. But I'm also stretching. I'm also watching my nutrition.
Yeah.
I'm also doing all of these other things to help the root causes, which is mostly inflammation
Mm-hmm.
and some other things. And that's what a coach and a coaching program can do for somebody is the medication sometimes, especially like if somebody's in a crisis mode, it
Yeah.
helps them regulate so that they can learn new things, because when you're in constant panic mode or anxiety mode, it's really difficult for your brain to learn and retain new information because its only focus at that point is your survival. So
Okay.
when you
You
get
know
on
that from
medication,
experience, right?
I know that from
Yeah.
experience, and I've confirmed it from research,
Mm-hmm.
and all of the books that I've read and people that I've talked to. But yes, I definitely know that from experience. I know
Mm-hmm.
that I've learned more in the past 4 years than probably in the previous 15 because my brain wasn't focused on just surviving anymore. I gotten through that part of it. And that's one way medication can help, because it can help dial that down for you so that you can feel calmer, so that you can learn the tools to use
Yes.
when you're in
Yes.
a heightened state of anxiety. And that's why I said I'm not demonizing medication at all. It just
Mm-hmm.
can't be the only thing. You need to do other things with that. If you know you don't, especially if you don't want to be on medication for the rest of your life, because
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately a lot of these also have side effects that can make life really difficult on
Very
top
much.
of
Yeah.
having anxiety.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I get it. I get it. Like, I have a client, she's in 70s. She's in like depressions, anxiety. She's been taking medicines and doctors. Oh, she talks about it just sad. I am sad. I am worried. I'm on this medication. It's not working. Doctor's not fixing. It's like when I do her hair, only things I can make smile is when I finish doing her hair. She smiles, right? That's the only things I could do. But it's kind of like, that's a break my heart. That if when I see her like that, it breaks my heart. It's hard. You wake up and just like it's very hard to be happy. So yes, I believe medicine helps too, right? And then also not only medicine helping, you know, I think you have to feel from internally, like you have to get the power back, right? And it's yeah. I realized that I had kind of a little bit of anxiety, but not as, you know, bad as yours. And then I don't have to take medication, but the moment I starting to feel the difference, it's same way. I have to get my power back. It's my life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, at that moment. And then I just like, oh, okay. And then same thing, how? Right?
And it's
And then,
so
yeah.
freeing, right? Like when you
Yeah.
say that,
I
and
felt light. At least it's just, I don't know, I kind of flew a little bit. I lifted a little bit. It's the scenery around me, it changed. Nothing was changing. Same scenery, but I just like, it's, I don't know, you put the like brighter filter, right? Like, oh, hey, it's a difference. So I think that I really kind of felt it's like, I'm going to get my power back for myself. And then how? And how will come, right? Make a decision. And you are helping, you know, the people joining your coaching program. You are giving them a tools.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's really what it comes down to, is making that decision.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're not quite ready to take our power back in the beginning, and that's okay. But making that decision to at least explore some options and learn that there's other other support out there for us, and sometimes then the taking the power back comes.
Yes.
And sometimes we can help as coaches and friends and mentors facilitate that, because they feel like they have some support. And that's a really important part of the process. I was a little different. I'm an oddball in some of these things, because at that point, for me, wasn't worried about anything else except not doing this thing anymore. It was like everything else, I would figure it out. Because who I thought was supporting me, I lost my trust in them, the doctor. I was like, okay, well, I'm on my own, and I was okay with that in that moment, being on my own. And then, like I said, building, and my friend, like I said, who's on here, she came into my life shortly before that, but then it completely shifted our friendship almost immediately, because she was using some different tools that were helping her. And I was like, I've heard of this. I thought it was weird, but I'm going to try it now, because you're doing it and it's working for you, you know? So
I know what you mean though. Yeah. Once you start changing yourself, you're going to be a magnet. You're going to attract the like-minded people. You're going to attract all the things you needed, but you have to make a decision.
Yeah, that's the key, right? Is at least making the decision that you want something to be different.
Yeah.
You know, to have that knowing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's time flies. I told Bonnie, it's like only half an hour. I wish I could talk to you more, but I'm pretty sure I do have, you know, I will have an opportunity to talk again. Right?
For sure.
Yes. So is the course going to start October 10th?
It starts Sunday.
Yep. Sunday.
This round of the coaching program starts Sunday.
Yep.
I'm also available for one-to-one coaching. You can find all of the information at BonnieRoseTheAcoach.com /21 days. And if you tap on my face and the link in my bio, it'll take you
this one's right
straight to the page. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So the people, and you gotta let your friends or you know, your family and friends who needs to taking care as be start on their life, right? Get the who wants willing to get the power back, right? And then just everybody should recommend go to Bonnie's page, Posh Notions, and go to the link, right? And then they will find you guys gonna find about her new coaching program. I like the name though, 21 days to calm anxiety. Not get rid of anxiety. I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to be very specific about the fact that this is not a one and done. This is an ongoing process, and that this is the beginning of at least getting a grasp and a hold on it. And like it says, to calm it so that you can start learning those tools and then, you know, eventually healing your own anxiety. I still have anxiety about things sometimes, but now it's not soul crushing and debilitating me for days on end. I have the tools to use to get through it and calm myself and move on with my day. And so I'm spending, you know, moments or minutes, maybe an hour in that anxious state versus, you know, extended periods of time. So
Oh
absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much for inviting
You're
me and for
welcome.
the time. And I appreciate you and everyone that stopped in to listen to us talk today.
Thank you so much, Bonnie. And then that was I had such a great time. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then good luck in your new coaching programs. You're gonna save lots of people in the whole world. I believe that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
All right.
that.
Yes. Okay. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thank you. And bye, everyone. Thank you for your time. All right. Take care.